Improving your Shopify product pages is not only about improving their designs or how they look. It's about improving your store conversion rate. You have an online store, so your main purpose is to gain more customers and to make more sales. And that's why you should always start by your product pages. This is where your customers are going to make up their minds. This is where your customers are going to decide whether to buy your products or not. These pages are extremely important, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can use Shopify Metafields in order to improve these pages and make them look better and, most importantly, convert more. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can do all the following and much more. First, we are going to see how you can improve your product descriptions by dividing those descriptions into benefits and into tabs. And I'm going to show you how to use Metafields in order to make all of these data dynamic and different from one product to another, especially the tabs next to the product information. Next, we are going to see how to use Metafields in order to add color swatches to your product pages. Then we are going to see how you can use Metafields in order to create dynamic sections that are totally different from one product to another. So let's say, for example, you want to have a gallery section on your product pages and you want this section to be totally different between product A and product B. I'm going to show you how to set this up. Next, we are going to see how to use Metafields in order to set up product recommendations on your product pages. So in this way, you make sure that you are recommending the right product with each original purchase. And finally, we are going to see how to use Metafields in order to add size charts to your product pages. And for sure, while I'm showing you how to do all of these things, you are going to learn a lot of tips and tricks that will help you to improve your product pages and improve your conversion rate. So, are you ready? Let's get started. When it comes to improving your product pages, the first thing that you should be working on is the section that you will find next to your product images. And we call it usually product information. In there, you need to focus on adding the most important things that your customers care about. We are talking about information, maybe questions, maybe guides, and so on. So, improving this section on your product pages will greatly help you to improve your store conversion rate, because this is where your customers are going to look once they land on your product page. So we try to include all relevant information, but the most important thing is to include a short description, a list of benefits, and to use tabs in order to divide your product information. Tabs are super user-friendly and they help to break down the information into paragraphs, into questions and answers, which is a way to make the information more digestible to your customers. I'm going to use the latest version of the Dawn theme as an example while showing you how to use Metafields in this tutorial. But regardless of the theme you are using, Metafields work in the same way. Even with a paid theme, you will have more options and you will be able to improve your product pages even more. From your Shopify dashboard, I want you first to go to Customize, and we are going to check our current product page template. So from here, I will go to Products and I will go to the default product. And as you can see, I have only one product page and it's assigned to my two products. When I click in here, I can change the product I'm previewing from here. I will change this one and choose this one instead. Okay, so this is the product that I want to be working on. And as you can see, this is a product with a lot of variants and a lot of colors. And this is going to be beneficial when we set up color swatches. Okay, the information next to the images in here are basically the title, like the price, the variants, the quantity, and in here you find the description and some tabs. Currently, the content of this tab is like void, there is nothing in here. I'm going to show you how to set up this content and how to make it different from one product to another. Let's first start by how you create these tabs in the first place. So I'm going to remove all of them in here. And again, regardless of the theme you are using, this is going to be an option. Under product information, you click here on the plus, okay, and you search for something called collapsible row. This is what you should be looking for. So once I've added it, this is the row in here. I click on it, and what you are going to see in here is going to be a little bit different depending on the theme you are using. Again, with a professional theme, you will have even more options. So first we have the heading, so what we are seeing in here. Then we have the content. Okay, for the heading in here, let's put, for example, materials. Okay, in here for the icon, you need to choose an icon that's relevant to the collapsible tab that you are creating. And as you can see, you can choose between all of these options. I'm going to choose anything, just as an example. Okay, then we have the raw content. So this is what we are going to have as content in here. Let me type, for example, like this. And as you can see now, I have this written in here. I can write a full paragraph because this is a rich text field. As you can see, I have the option to bold it, to make it italic, to add bullet point, and so on. So I'm going to just add some more content in here just to make it more rich. So as you can see, now when I click, I have the tab open and I have the content in here. But if I try to preview another product on my store, so let's go in here and preview this product, you will notice that under this tab, I have the same information. So this is the same title and the same information. Our purpose now is to make this content different from one product to another. And this is going to be super beneficial in order to improve your product pages, because in this way, using tabs, you will be able to break down your product information into like sections, into questions and answers, and you make it easier for your customers to digest your product page content and to understand more your products and how they work. So let's say, for example, you sell beverages. Maybe you want to have tabs related, for example, to ingredients, how to prepare it, what kind of food it matches best with. So this type of information is going to be different from one product to another. And in this case, you need to do exactly what I'm going to do now in order to make your tabs totally dynamic and different from one product to another. So I'm going to click on the tab in here. And as you can see, next to the heading, we have this icon in here. When you see this icon, it means that you can make the content of this field dynamic and different between your products. So I'm going to keep the heading as it is, but I'm going to work on the content. So now I have introduced the content in here. In order to change this rule, as you can see, I have this icon in here. So this tells me that I can make all of this content dynamic. If I click on it in here, it gives me the option to either choose between these two metafields or create a new metafield from scratch. I'm going to show you how to create this metafield and how to fill it up and how it's going to show on this product page now. So let's save and let's go back. Now when I go to my product and I scroll down, you will see that in here I have some metafields. I have created those metafields before. And if you click on view all, you will view all of these metafields. These are the product metafields that I have created, and these are category metafields set up by default from Shopify. We are going to talk a little bit about this later in this video. Now what I want you to do is to go to settings, and from here I want you to go to custom data. You go to products and you click on add definition. And we are going to call it the materials tab. We're just giving it a name so it makes sense to us because we are going to fill these fields later. So I'm going to call it materials tab, and in here under type, and this is something that you must take a good care of, you need to choose the right type of metafield. As you recall, when we were setting up the tabs, the type of the text was rich text. I told you that, and you know it's rich text because you can bold, you can make it italic, you can add bullet points. So in here we need to search for rich text type. It's very important to make sure that the metafield type matches, and we are going to click on save. Now when I go back to the same product, the one that we were seeing a few seconds ago, and you scroll down, you will notice that a new metafield was created in here. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to fill up the information. So I'm going to call it material list 1, let's say, and I'm going to click on save. Now I'm going to my next product and I'm going to change the content. So I'm going back in here to my products, I'm going to this one, and when I scroll down, I will find it as well in here, and I will type material product, for example, 2. And I will click on save. Okay, now we need to go back to online store. We go to customize, and we will go again to our product page template. And now when we scroll down to this tab in here, you click on it, and we are going to remove all the content in here. You can keep it. If this part is going to be common between all of your products, you can keep it. Otherwise, you need to delete it. Then you click here on the dynamic source icon. You go back and you choose from your products and you choose material tabs. And now, as you can see, this is the first content on this page for this product. When I go back in here and I change the product I'm seeing, so this one, for example, you will see that the content is different. It's a totally different content. And if you don't have anything filled in here, when you will see that this is going to be void. Well, in some professional themes, when a meta field is empty, they totally make it disappear. Okay, but now since the title was not a meta field, maybe that's why it's still showing in here. Now let's try to do something else. Let's go back in here and let's try to make this heading as well a meta field. For example, you want to have a totally different structure for tabs from one product to another. On one product, you want to have materials, instructions, how to use, and on another, you want to put care guides, shipping and returns, whatever. So even you want the title to be different from one product to another. Again, you need to remove the content in here, and in here you click on Connect Dynamic Source. You can either go to settings and create the meta field from there, or you can directly from here click on Add Meta Field. And this time it's very important to make it as a single line text meta field because this is a title. So I'm going to call it, for example, tab number 1 title. And in here, I will select single line text as an option and click on save. You can preset the values that you want to choose from as like headings of your tabs. So you click here on limit to preset choices and you put, for example, materials, and you put, for example, how to use, care guide, let's say shipping. So in this case, when you are filling the meta field, you need to choose between these options. Okay, you can't choose something that's outside these options. You can't type something new. Or you can leave it open and type the meta field content when you are filling it on your product page. It's up to you. Okay, and if you want to add some values to the presets in here, you just need to go back to the meta field and just add them. Okay, I'm going to click on save and leave. And when I leave and I go back to my products, you will notice that now in here I have a new meta field, which is tab number 1 title. I'm gonna call this one how to use, for example, and save it. Then going back to my other product, I'm going to call it something else. So going back in here, and as you can see, now I need to choose between my options. I can't type within the meta field because I have put preset values for this field. And I'm going to choose shipping, for example, and I'm going to click on save. Okay, going back now to my online store. Going back now in here, okay, I will click on this and I will choose tab 1 title and I will click on save. Okay, I'm gonna change the product because I didn't choose content for this product, so I'm going to go to this one, and as you can see now I have this as a title. Now if I change this one to, for example, this product, now I should have a different title. Okay, the only problem you might face in here is that the icon is not dynamic, so you can't change it from one product to another. And again, if you are using a professional theme, most probably even the icon in here would be dynamic and you can choose a different image or a different icon from one product to another. So now we have seen how to add tabs and how to make them dynamic and different between your products. Now you just need to apply the same logic and create multiple tabs and create meta fields for all of these tabs. And in this way, you will have your tabs totally dynamic and different between your products. Now let's say you want to do something different. You want to have like a list of benefits and make this list different from one product to another. So as you can see now we have like the full description in here, and I can move it up like this and maybe change the location. But let's say I want to have like something else. I want to have a full description, like in some themes, for example, you can add the description below the product. I'm not sure if this is optional in here. Let's see if this is an option in here. Not really. Okay, but let's say, for example, you want to add something in here, maybe a text, maybe a slogan, maybe some special information about this product. So what you need to do, and now since you are adding a text field, most probably the type of meta fields that you should be creating is rich text meta fields. So I'm going to click here on text and I move it up, let's say in here, and as you can see, you can make this totally dynamic. You just click in here and you create a meta field for it. You can do the same thing in order to add icons, for example, next to your product information in here. So when you click here on plus, and this is going to be different depending on the theme you are using, we have, for example, in here the icon with text section. And when you click on it, you will see that like we've added 3 icons next to the product information. Let me move it up like this, so it's now in here. And let's say, for example, one of my products is vegan, organic, and natural, but another one is not. So basically, I need to make these icons dynamic because they are different between my products. So I'm going to click on icon with text. And as you can see in here, I can make the images in here dynamic. So when you click in here, you can choose a dynamic source. Okay, the only thing that you need to do is to create a meta field with the type images. So let's click here on add meta field. And as you can see, we go in here, let's call it icon number 1. And in here under type, you choose files and you make it an image and you click on save. Okay, now when we go back to our product, so let's go back to the product, you will see the new meta field, which is the icon, and you can choose in here any image that you want to add. So let's say, for example, I'm adding this one. I click on done and I click on save. When you go back in here, let's choose our new meta field as a source. And when I go back and I change the product to the one where I have set up the meta field, so in here, you will see that the image is going to be different. So this is the new image. But when I go back to my other products, I can see the default images. So when you go in here to the icons, you will see the default image. So this is a very nice section to have, especially if you want to list like special properties about your products, especially if you are selling food, for example, you can use it to show the ingredients, or for example, if your product is gluten-free, if it's, for example, dairy-free, and so on. So this is a very nice section that I highly recommend that you have it on your product pages. Now moving to the second thing that I want to show you, and it is how to use Metafields in order to add color swatches to your product pages. This is actually a new update and it wasn't available before in Shopify. So I want you to take a little bit of time to understand what I'm going to do and to apply the same thing on your Shopify store. So going back to my products in here, we have products, and as you can see, this product in here comes in different variant and I have different colors. Okay, when I preview now this product page, you will see that next to the product, when I can see the variants, I can see the variant names. And if I try to modify what I'm seeing in there, I will see like some limitations. So if I go in here, and if I want to change what I'm seeing in there, I need to go to the theme customization, and in here, go to the settings, to what we call color swatches. So usually you will find it in here under the settings section. If you're not finding it in here, maybe it's simply in here. When you go back to the product information, you click here on the variants, and you choose the style. So you choose if you want the swatches to be circle, square, or none, or to have the style as drop down or pills. If you choose drop down, that's what you are going to see. If you choose pills, this is what we are currently seeing. But since I didn't yet set up color swatches, I don't see the colors in here. I see the variant names. What I'm going to show you is how to show color swatches in here, the colors, without using any paid app, without doing any coding, and all thanks to the new Shopify update. So the swatches in here are showing like this because in here I have chosen the style to be pills. If I go to drop down, I will see a different style, and for the swatches I need to set up this to be pills and I need this to be as a swatch. You can choose circle or square, it's up to you. Well, this wasn't possible a few months ago, so this is new, and now you can set up these color swatches for free without installing any app and without doing any coding. So stay with me. I'm going back in here to my products because there is something very important that I need to do in order to activate the color swatches. From here, I need you to go to products and to the product where you have the different variants. So what we are going to do is here under category, we are going to put the category of this product. This is super important because when you choose the category, Shopify will be creating some dedicated category metafields for you. And in these category metafields, you will find one that's called color. This is the one that we are going to use for color swatches, and this is the only one that works for color swatches up until now. So from here under category, I'm gonna put vases. Okay, when I do that, let me first remove it. Okay, before having any category in here, if you scroll down in here, you don't see anything. That's it. Okay, we have the Metafields in here. If you click on view all in here, you don't see any Metafield under the category. Okay, now I want to go back, and in here under category I want to put vases, and you will see when I do that and I scroll down in here, a new type of Metafields open, and I have the color Metafield in here. And if I click here on view all, after saving for sure, if you click here on view all, you will see that under category Metafield, you still don't have one, but you can add one if you go in here and you click on add. I will be adding the color Metafield in here, and let's add two colors. So let's add, for example, blue and black. You can choose between all of these, or you can add your own color by clicking here on add a new entry. Once you add these colors in here, you scroll up, and in here you click on the variant, which is color. You click on this one in here on connect Metafields, and you choose the one that you have created. If you want to know more about how to install color swatches, and if you want to make them even more professional by adding, for example, special images, patterns, and so on, I highly recommend you to check this video on my YouTube channel, where I discuss color swatches in details and I show you step by step how you can do everything related to them. Okay, so this is gonna be quick in here, but in this tutorial you will find everything that you need to know. Okay, once you connect this one, as you can see, because my names below in the Metafield doesn't match these names, I have a problem. So I need to rename those ones to be equivalent to the ones I have on the category Metafield. So let me rename my variants in here. So I need to go in here and fix the variant names so they can work with the category Metafield. So I will click in here, color, let's call this one, for example, brown, black, blue, let's say gray, and let's say this one is red, and click on done. I will go now to my colors in here, and I will choose the same colors. So we have brown, we have black, red, blue, and gray. Okay, once this is done, I will click on save. And now when I go back to my variants, I should be able to link to this one. So I go back in here, I will click on this one, I will click here, and I will connect it to the colors. And as you can see now, I didn't have any problem because my colors match the variants names. And I will click on done. And after that, you click on save. So now once you have these installed in here, we need to go back to our theme customization. So going here to online store, and we want to add the color swatches to make sure that they are activated on the product page. We're going here to products. We're going to our product in here to preview it. And as you can see, now I have my color swatches in here. Okay, if you go back in here to your variants, you can change between square or circle. That's it. So as you can see, installing color swatches on your Shopify product page is not complicated at all. Again, if you want to add like special colors, if you have like different names for your colors, maybe you have, for example, bluish gray or something like this, or maybe you have a pattern as a swatch, I recommend you to watch this video, because in this video I tell you more about how you can add your own colors, how you can define them, how you can add an image instead of having a color, and so on. So make sure to check it after watching and finishing this video. Now let's see how you can add a dynamic section to your product pages. So let's say, for example, I want to add a gallery of photos that's different between products. Okay, so I'm going in here to click on add section, and you can choose the section that you want to use based on the theme that you have installed on your store. I'm going to see if this theme have a gallery section. If it doesn't, I will simply add maybe something that's similar. So they have a collage, which might be collage of images and products. So let's check it out. Okay, so in here I have an image and I have some products. This section is actually nice because I can use it to create something similar to Shop the Look. So I basically show an image in here, for example, to this vase with another vase, and I can in here link to the other products. Or I can remove the products from here and add other images. So let me remove this collection, and instead of having like an image and two and a collection and a product, I will have an image, a product, and another product. And let's see if we can make all of these things dynamic. So when you click here on image, the first part in here is dynamic. So basically you can choose a different image from one product to another. All you need to do is to click in here, to create this meta field. So let's call it gallery image 1. And the type is going to be files, and it's going to be image. Okay, so this is the first meta field I want to create. So going back in here, I will link to my new meta field. Now let's say in here I want to link to the products that were showing with my original product in here. So what I'm going to do is to go back in here and to click on product. And as you can see, even for this element, you can make the source dynamic. So this is mainly a section where you can recommend other products, where you can do shop the look or complete the setup or something like this. So I'm going to click on this one. And now the type of meta field that you need to create is product. Okay, if you go back in here, you will have like some other options. And now the type of meta field that you need to create is product. So you click on add meta field. In here, let's call it gallery product 1. And in here under type, you need to find product. You can even choose a product variant. Let's go to product and let's click on save. Now, when I go back to my products, I will see that there are 2 fields created. So I'm going back in here. And for the image gallery, I'm going to choose a certain image, a random image. Let's say this one. And for the product, I'm going to select one of my products and click on add and click on save. Now, when I go back in here, what I need to do first is in here to link to my meta field. So I click in here and I link to my meta field and I click on save. And as you can see, since we have filled these meta fields for this product, now I have these in here showing. So this is a very, very nice section that you can use it, as I said before, in order to create something similar to shop the look or the setup or something like this. The same thing we've done now, you can do to any type of sections. So you can click here on add section, choose any type of these sections and make the content dynamic. So if you go, for example, to rich text, you can do the same. So as you can see, whenever you click, all of these fields in here can be like 100% dynamic. Okay, you just need to create the right type of meta fields and to link to these meta fields in here, and that's it. Now let's talk about how we are going to use meta fields in order to set up product recommendations. Before doing this, there is an app that I want you to install, and it's called Shopify Search and Discovery app. This is the app, and this is the app responsible of setting up product recommendations on your Shopify store. And it uses meta fields because the recommendations are done dynamically and they are different from one product to another. So when you go in here to recommendations, you can see that in here you can set up the recommendations for each of these products, for each of your products. Okay, so let me remove everything and start from scratch. So I'm going to click here on add recommendations, and I will start first by choosing the products where I want to do the recommendations. So let's say, for example, I'm going to choose this one. Okay, the first type of recommendations I need to do is the complementary products. And in here, I'm going to choose a complementary product. Let's say this one. Then I will go in here and I will choose the related products. The complementary products are like the most relevant product to the original purchase. The related products are related to the original purchase, but maybe they are like, let's say, a little bit less close to it than the complementary product. Okay, you can keep the ones auto-generated by Shopify, or you can add your own. So I'm gonna click on browse and I will add mine and click on save. Product recommendations are extremely important because they can help you to increase your store average order value by helping your customers or giving your customers incentives, or let's say reasons, to buy more products from your store. And these reasons don't need to be a discount or something like this. It could be as simple as showing the related product in front of them. So let's say, for example, I am buying a foundation. I would feel very happy if you recommend the right brush with my foundation next to this product, because if I want a brush, you're making it easier for me because I know this brush works for the foundation. I don't need to go and do any research. Okay, so adding the product recommendations on the product page will greatly help you to encourage more people to spend more on your store and thus increase your sales. That's why I highly recommend you to set them up. Once you have your product recommendations set up in here, you need to go back to your theme customization in order to show these recommendations on your product page layout. Okay, let's see if the Dawn theme supports complementary products. When you click here on add, okay, you will have a complementary product block. Most of the themes have it. and it will be showing in here. And as you can see, this is the same exact product that I have chosen before. Okay, if you click in here, you might find some options to play around with, and in some themes you can directly add the product in here. So some themes will show you an add to cart button in here, making it even easier for your customers to add the related product. Now, when it comes to the related product, it's a full section on Shopify, and most probably you have it already on your product page. And when you click on it in here, you can change some of the things related to it, like the heading, the number of products you show, and so on. One last thing that I want to talk about regarding this topic: when you go to products now, you will notice that under the Metafields section, you will have a section dedicated for the complementary products. So now when you go in here to view all, you will see that you have like category Metafields, product Metafields, and when you scroll down, you will see the complementary products Metafields. So you can fill them out from here if you want, instead of filling them from the search and discovery app. Now let's talk about how you can add size charts to your product pages. And this same logic can be applied to any type of information that you want to add, and you want this information to be different from one product to another. It could be maintenance guide, it could be installation guide, but I know that size charts are very, like, let's say, famous, and they are super important for people who sell clothes or bags or something like this, but especially for clothes. Having good size charts, very clear size charts, is extremely important, and it helps your customers to make informed decisions. If you are selling shoes, for example, and you don't make it super clear to your customers what size is going to work for them, you make it harder for them to buy the shoes, to pick the right size, and to buy from you. So make sure to have very clear size charts on your product pages. This is extremely important, and it's going to greatly help you to improve your store conversion rate. So adding size charts is not at all different than adding any other dynamic section on your product page. If you are using a professional theme, you might have different options, but if you are using the Don't theme, you are stuck with using any of the things that we have done before, like for example adding an image with text section and make the image the size chart, or maybe adding a section in here on the product page, or maybe adding a tab in here with like the content explaining the sizing in text, and so on. So let's say, for example, you want to go with the image with text. What you need to do is to click here on add section, and you add something like, for example, image with text section. You move it up and you make this section the section dedicated for size charts. So you call it, for example, size charts, and in here you make everything in this section dynamic. So let's call this one size chart. So maybe, for example, in here you give them instructions about how to measure their sizes, and in here for the image you choose a dynamic source in order to make this image different between your products, and you create a meta field dedicated for the size chart image. Okay, this is the first thing that you can do. But if you are using a professional theme, most of these themes, the professional ones, will have a dedicated size chart block. So when you go back in here and you click, you don't see any block that's dedicated for size charts, okay? But again, if you are using a professional theme, you might find a block in here dedicated for size charts. I'm going to take the symmetry theme as an example. If I go in here and click on customize, and I go to the product page, you will see that in here, when I click on the variant picker, there is an option to add size chart for the product. And as you can see, everything in here is dynamic. So we have the title, the name, and in here you need to select the size chart. But in this case, as you can see, the type of meta field that you want to link to should be a page. So it means that you need to create different pages for each of your size charts and link to them. So you create a meta field with a type pages, you create a size chart page for each of your products, and you link to the meta field from here. So you click here, let's go to add meta field, and you call it size chart page. You click on select type and you choose page. You click on save. And then next you go to online store, to pages, and you create for each of your products where you want to have a size chart. You click on add page, you call it size chart, for example, product A. Let's say you insert an image in here, or maybe a table. So let's say you insert a table with a size charts, or an image, for example. You can click here on insert an image and insert this one as an example. This is a size chart, and you click on save. Then you go back to online store, to the symmetry theme. You click in here and you choose the size chart page in here as a source. And when I preview my product, so let's click on change and preview this product. We need to first make it live, so let me in here turn it on. So you go back in here, you click on the variant picker, and from here you choose the metafield that you have just created. But first you need to make sure that you have sizes as a variant type for this product, okay? Because otherwise the size chart is not going to show. Again, this is going to be different depending on the theme you are using, but a lot of professional themes offer like dedicated options for size charts. But if you are using a basic theme, or even if you just want to show an image with text, you can always do the same thing that we have done with the Dawn theme. As you can see, using Metafields, you can take your product pages to a totally next level and hopefully increase your store conversion rate. If you are interested in learning more about how to increase your store conversion rate, I highly recommend you to check this video, because in this video, I show you real results from a real store, and I show you how we were able to increase our store conversion rate up to around 6% or even sometimes 7%. So if you are interested in increasing your sales and your profit, check out this video.